All right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got REYNOR for Basilisk in the bottom left and Dark in the top left. Dark, his last tournament before the military. Honestly, he's already used up one of his lives in this group stage. I can't believe he's in the winner's match. he was pretty dead to rights against Australia, but he brought it back. And now he has a chance to get first place in this group, in which case he will go through with a fast-track attempt to the semi-finals. It is, of course, the AFL, or Australian Football League playoff format, where if you are one of those higher seeds going into that, then you will end up playing another high seed team, and the winner goes straight to the semis. Loser gets another chance in essentially the round of 8 sort of play situation. So it's a very, very big advantage. You do not want to drop any maps. This is a best of 5, by the way. So it's going to be interesting. These guys had a famously epic series when REYNOR won his World Championship online 2021. IEM Katowice. Fantastic game and series the two of them had. Music's kind of very light and atmospheric here. Starting to... It's the early game, Heart of the Swarm soundtrack, I think, where you can barely hear it, and then it's going to build up, hopefully, as the action gets going. 2 workers on gas there. How many on gas? 3 for Dark. So Dark not pulling off gas at all. Oh! Is Dark going to do his skill check? I think he is. Okay, so Dark is the only top Zerg in the world who will still just randomly off 25 drones, make 30 Zerglings, make a bunch of Banes, and try to kill you. It doesn't work, in quotation marks, at pro level because the players are too good. Dark regularly kills people with this all the time, even though it's not meant to work. It's going to go for a Baneling Nest now. Yeah. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but the fact that he's left on gas really makes me think he's either planning that or some sort of sneaky fast lair play. REYNOR, on the other hand, he has now still not put back on gas. Much more economic focus for REYNOR. Down south. REYNOR the blue. Dark in the red. And Dark is not committing. He's just not pulled off gas. That's the thing. It's hard to read into Dark's builds because he just does things a bit awkwardly sometimes. He just does it in his own way. Like, he's just mined an extra 60, 70 gas this game. Is there a reason? No, just felt like it. Didn't really care to pull the single worker off, you know. That's the thing about Dark is there's other players where sometimes you see a small detail and you know exactly what line of strategy that leads into. You can't make those reads on Dark. It does not work. Now, REYNOR's going incredibly quick Roach Warren. I think that's defensive, though. It's just because Dark is known to do crazy stuff. He wants to be able to build Roaches reactively if he has to. Dark's a big fan of the 27 drone Roach Bane all-in. This Overlord's a bit exposed. What I don't like about this Overlord placement, guys, is if a Queen gets down here, yeah, you're not going to be able to get it out to the left. So you need to get this Overlord here. The Overlord on the right, I think, should be down and to the left slightly. Can't fully see the move out path, but it can see most of it. Lings get in. Nice scout here for REYNOR. He saw that the Roach Warren is a fair bit later for Dark, and that's going to make him feel incredibly safe. Second gas has come in for REYNOR. He's building a few Overlords. It does feel like REYNOR's going aggressive. Baneling gets a decent hit. Good little trade here. Dead even in the units lost, but Dark has more Lings coming behind it. I think REYNOR was thinking about doing a Roach Bane attack, but he's not going to do that now. He's going to swap into just more Zerglings, one defensive Roach. Dark on the front with his Zerglings. That third base is wide open. There's only Queens to defend. Might be nice to dart in, see if he can grab a drone, but not going to find an opening. So the Banelings do fend him away. Evo Chamber in there on the way for Dark. Lair does start up for REYNOR, but his Evo much later. Now, I do think, you know, REYNOR's up in drone slightly, but I think because he's on the defense, it's hard for him to squeeze out that Evo Chamber, and that makes things a little bit nasty. Queen does clean up the Zergling. Roaches walk right past. +1 range starting up for Dark as the Evo Chamber just now goes down for REYNOR. He's hiding that Evo. So even though he doesn't have the wall off, he's going to hide it to try and make it a little bit harder to guess what he's doing. Queen should be able to stop this. And if only one Baneling gets in, it's not a big deal. Takes out a Creep Tumor. And the other one blowing up on nothing. Just a single Zergling. 54 workers for Dark. He's built an economic advantage for himself. REYNOR's trying to play this very safe. It's kind of interesting to see REYNOR adopt the sort of Serral style while Dark is staying true to the Dark style, which is also the REYNOR style. Remember that REYNOR at his core plays a lot more like Dark. That's his natural state. He's learned how to play more like Serral over the years. You know, more scouting, more reactions. And he does it very well. But at his heart, he wants to just do random stuff in YOLO and dive in from multiple angles and do tricky maneuvers and go for high risk high risk, you know, potentially game-winning moves. Like that's what REYNOR likes to do. If REYNOR's gambling, he's happy. Dark as well. Dark is stopped on 53 workers, 4 gases. He's doing a big +1 roach all in. REYNOR's building another 5 workers. He needs to realize what's happening, but he hasn't just yet. And look at the way Dark's denying scouting. He's not going to get in. REYNOR, if he builds a single extra drone, he might just die to this big roach push. Look at these roaches. They're popping out. They're hiding in the main and the natural. REYNOR, he's building 2 more drones. He's building a 4th hatchery. This is not what he needs to do. Let's go to REYNOR's camera. This is REYNOR's camera, guys. The army's about to move out. He's got an overseer on the right side. He's getting hit by a queen. Oh no, he's leaving a hole in his vision. He's leaving a hole in his vision and building 4 more drones. That overseer has just abandoned vision on the front. The lings are there. They're going to distract him as well. Meanwhile, roaches moving out down the left side. Yes, REYNOR is into mass roach now, but he is up 15 workers. And that's only good if you can survive the attack. It does mean he has not invested as much in the defense. No spine crawlers, nothing like that. It feels like Dark should have the numbers advantage, but can he get across the map and actually leverage it? Baneling stopping the Zergling run by for now. The Lings are going to engage from behind. Nice engagement to start for Dark, but REYNOR's Banelings coming from reserve, and they do blow up a lot of Dark's roaches. REYNOR needs to buy time. He needs to pull drones. He needs to pull the drones right now. If he loses his roaches, he's dead. He needs to pull the drones. It's a bit too late. He's already lost most of his damage output. The drone pull's too late. He did not realize the all-in was coming in. Dark here, disguising a 4 gas, 53 drone, +1 roach all-in. And he gets REYNOR with a lovely, well-disguised surprise. All right, guys, Dark is up 1 game. REYNOR looked a little annoyed. He instantly opened the replay to go, what did I miss? And, I mean, it was just, yeah. I mean, Dark just hit it well. He was undersaturated, of course, in his main and natural. 3rd base. Looked completely normal. Well, he was missing a gas on the 3rd as well, and REYNOR was just a little bit too greedy. I do think if he'd thrown a spine or 2 up reactively, maybe pulled behind his hatchery to buy time, pulled some more drones, it could have been okay, but the links around to kind of force the initial trade was actually such a good detail for Dark. I think that was legendarily well done. Chat says the Overseer didn't see the movement. Yeah, the Overseer got pushed back. I mean, he moved out the left anyway. So he saw the roaches leave the base on the left side, but it's just, there's so little time to respond. Now, I do think REYNOR played a lot like Cyril in that first game, guys, bit reactive. I think absolutely he needs to fight Dark right now. Like, don't get me wrong, you are very good as a macro defensive player, but the fact is that Dark almost always takes Cyril down to the wire, makes it incredibly hard for him to win, and that's Cyril's game. I think REYNOR, at his heart, should be playing like Dark. Wild, aggressive, unpredictable plays. I think it is his best style. I've always said, the same way Clem and Beyond are two sides of the same coin, REYNOR and Dark are also 2 sides of the same coin. REYNOR is just a younger version of Dark, Clem is just a younger version of Beyond. And I truly feel like you speak to Dark and he feels like, you know, he's like, oh, these kids are too fast for me. Like and I think he's wrong. I think Dark absolutely can keep up, but I do think you should be willing to throw some aggression at Dark yourself and play this sort of scrappy, aggressive dance. Don't be trying to hedge your bets. I think the moment you disrespect Dark as a player and you think, I've just got to defend against him because he's not good enough at the basics or he's too inefficient on his macro, that's when you lose to Dark. Because it's always at the moment when you put Dark in a box that he will defy your expectation and just play a better macro style. I do think REYNOR's a little bit better at the dance than Dark. Chat says, oh, REYNOR is probably faster. REYNOR is certainly faster. I disagree hard. I think REYNOR is more organized than Dark. I think Dark basically doesn't use control groups enough, so he's not going to be able to keep up with REYNOR through the disorganization rather than speed. Dark is one of the most mechanically gifted, fastest Korean players. Like his first-person view is insane. REYNOR will bounce his screen around more. I don't think that necessarily correlates to being that much better, but yeah, here we go, guys. It's Ling Flood into 27 drone Roach Warren. Hello, but he's not committing. He's droning behind it. I'm going to skip a Baneling Nest and skip to the Roach stage of the game. Nice aggression. He's putting REYNOR on his toes. REYNOR counters with Ling Bane. It could work, but only if he commits really hard. Got to keep this 3rd hatchery alive. Should be able to, and indeed he will. REYNOR massing Ling Bane right now. Dude, if he actually commits hard to mass Ling Bane and keeps going, I think REYNOR kills him. Because Dark does not have a Baneling Nest. I'm not sure if REYNOR realizes this or not. Does he have any Banelings at home? He's got plenty more Lings, but he's still massing Lings. This is so good for REYNOR. He's actually, I think, oh, he's a bit outnumbered. He should pull back from this fight. No queens in this fight. Where are his queens, guys? I don't know where his queens are. Good fight for Dark to start. He'll eventually get overrun though. But a great first fight there. Banelings are going to waddle into the queens. They do get deflected. Good pullback. Third hatchery will go down. Remember, REYNOR's only going to get the third hatchery. This is good trades for Dark, I think, in terms of the direct units at first. But at the end of the day, as you can see, hatchery kills big. Roach Roar and Evo Chamber goes down. And now it's just a question of reading what is Dark going to do as REYNOR. Because Dark's third gets sniped. But if you drone too hard, he's already got like 10 roaches out. He could arguably do a Roach Bane here. Or even a pure Roach Zergling, right? And Dark's going to do it. He's building pure Roach. He hasn't even walled off. He needs to put another Roach or two there. If Lings get in and see that he is not droning, REYNOR can just cut workers right now, make Roaches, and he'll be fine. But he's behind on +1. He's investing in a lair, and he's droning because only a crazy person would do a hatchery tech Roach all in this delayed, this late. You got to remember, you're playing Dark. You're playing a man who woke up. He poured a beer. Not even a beer. What's that where they drop the soju into the beer? He probably pours that on his breakfast cereal in the morning. Dark's a mad lad. He's not afraid to take a gamble. He knows it's awkward re-droning here, and it's awkward doing an all-in, and he thinks, you know, just do a double Somac and then just friggin' YOLO this. And REYNOR's droning way too hard. REYNOR has no idea what's happening. This is a really good surprise. If REYNOR insta-drops a spine or two, it can really help him. He is making roaches right now as REYNOR. Is it going to be enough? He's going to have, I think, 12 roaches against 25 when this attack hits. Dude, it's going to take a long time. Tokamac's not a small map. Thing comes out. Let's go to REYNOR's vision. The attack's about to move out, guys. It's going to move out in the next few seconds. Overseer's moving in. When he sees the lack of workers on that third, oh, he's got to realize. He built 2 more drones, though. He throws a spine down. Oh, REYNOR being greedy again here in this game. And Dark says there is only one way to be sure that I will make my opponent's life a nightmare in StarCraft. That is to commit. Have no fear. Commit! He is charging 29 slow roaches coming across the map into the 15 defenders of REYNOR. REYNOR trying to play a very Serral style game. Will he be able to pull off this defensive play? He's got to buy as much time as he can. He should be willing to pull 20 drones here. If he loses 20 drones, he's still good. But he's not pulling drones. He's also not pulling his roaches back. His Lings are taking a good fight on the other side of the map, which is great, but he's got to hold it home. He's already lost so many roaches. I think he needed to shuffle those roaches back. Not quick enough on the micro. Dark gets the fight that he needs. Is it enough to carry him through? Remember, +1 now kicks in for REYNOR just after the engagements happen. The Banelings get juicy hits in the middle of those roaches, but they don't really kill anything. On the right side, REYNOR seems to have stabilized, but his natural is getting breached. He's going to pull the drones, but remember, you have to pull drones before you lose your roaches. He's only got a few roaches doing damage in here. Will this be enough to turn the tides? Remember, the reinforce for Dark is very slow on the roaches. It's almost pure Zergling, but he holds on in the core, in the mid, and he manages to survive. Dark is not overcomplicating things. He is playing incredibly straightforward StarCraft today, but he is hiding his attacks so very well. And his opponents are trying to ensure they don't fall behind in the long game against a guy who is running at them with a knife. Now, I get it. Doing push-ups to grow stronger is good, but if a man's running at you with a knife, it's not the time to drop down and give him 20. It is the time to find a way to defend the impending knife strike. Nice Roach Queen positioning for REYNOR. Dude, REYNOR is doing some wizard-level micro, but I think the first fight was too early and too bad for REYNOR. I think he needed to really delay that first fight. And against slow roaches, you'd think he would have been able to. He's got roach speed, he's got +1. But he's got to give mad respect here to the aggressive abilities of Dark. Remember, he lost a lot of Lings early on. He killed a third hatchery, but it wasn't for free. He invested a lot in Banelings and Zerglings to do so, and now Dark is going to be able to overwhelm him. Dark's got his own +2 and roach speed on the way. And Dark manages to carry it home with a bizarre 35 drone +1 hatchery tech roachling all in. All right, guys, Dark in the top right. 1 game away from taking first place in this group. From almost losing in the first round, 0-2, to being up 2-0 on REYNOR. Absolute madness. REYNOR in the bottom left for Basilisk. I think at his heart, he is an aggressive player, right? And I do think REYNOR, his best bet here is to go first. I'd like to see like a 23 drone Ling Bane Flood to kill the third. Something really aggressive to get in Dark's face. Put him on the back foot. But you need to also be mentally prepared for that to not work. The big change I've seen in REYNOR's demeanor over the last few years where people have said, oh, he's not as passionate or he's not as locked in or whatever. You know, people like to theorize all this stuff. I still think he's a very fantastic StarCraft player, but I do think there's been a change in his mentality where he's gone from the brash youthfulness, nothing bothers him, which somehow Dark and Hero are the two players who've kept that through their entire career, where obviously they feel pain when they lose, but they're very, like, they're basically, they speedrun emotional maturity. Their ability to process emotions and just move on is almost instantaneous. Like, if Dark and Hero make the dumbest mistake you've ever seen, it's like they blink once and all the frustration is gone and they're just in the moment again, continuing to play the game. Now, REYNOR these days, I feel like he does sometimes get thrown out of the element, thrown out of the moment when things start going wrong in a game, right? And don't get me wrong, he made plenty of mistakes before. The difference would be that he would screw up a game really badly, Hero style, and he'd come into the next game playing just as good, if not better than the previous one, right? There'd be none of that sort of mental carryover. Now, I'm not saying that's happening right now. These are just timing attacks that have caught him off guard, and I think it's more of a strategic issue in this game, but just something I've got my eye on is how frustrated does REYNOR look, and can he just vibe? Because if he can vibe and get into his element, I actually think he's able to out-multitask Dark, and I think one of the cool things about REYNOR, if you look at his games in Serral, against Serral in 2021, when they played a ton, 2020, 2021, REYNOR would constantly do crazy, unpredictable aggression, and Serral was always one step behind reacting, and Serral was like, so many games, REYNOR would move out with 4 roaches. Serral would be convinced it was a roach roll incoming, build 3 spines, cancel lair, cancel +1 upgrades, and then REYNOR would get across the map with these 3 roaches and 12 zerglings. He'd just turn around and go home. He's like, dude, this is just 3 roaches. Like, this is macro build. And Serral's whole build would be screwed. And like, this sort of stuff was happening all the time. And like, and REYNOR would fall behind in games and make these like sick comebacks and stuff. It was really cool to see the way that their series would go. Like, Serral would often come out with these really mad prepared strats, win a match off a build order, get way ahead off a build order in the second game, and REYNOR would just make an amazing comeback, and then win the next game off some crazy wild play, and then get surprise mutas out, and you'd see these games just like slip away from Serral, right? That was peak Serral REYNOR rivalry era. So we'll see what he brings out this time. I think Dark is just very chill. He's very focused right now. This is his last tournament. I don't think he really cares that much if he wins or loses. I think he's just like, you know what? We're just going to have fun and do what I do. I play every tournament I can. I have for the last few years. And I'm always willing to just do whatever I think in the moment feels right. That intuitive play style going well for him now. He is droning up, playing a bit more defensive this time. It's REYNOR who's going to be building 10 Zerglings. I'd like to see him poke aggressively, maybe make a forward Baneling with this Zergling if he can. Maybe even 2. 1 Baneling and 5 Zerglings for defense for Dark without even having a 3rd Queen. That's confidence, that is. No early Roach Warren, no 3rd Queen. He's just like, yeah, I'm just building drones. That's all. He does build a Roach Warren now, so it is a pretty early Roach Warren actually for Dark. It's not that late. That's what is that? 332. That's a very fast, well-timed Roach Warren. Now actually might make REYNOR a bit worried as well. You can see REYNOR's leaving a much bigger supply gap. That gives him flexibility on his production. So if he sees an attack come out, he can build units. Dark, on the other hand, is borderline supply blocked basically the whole game, which is peak efficiency, actually. But if he gets surprised by an attack, he can't make army right now. He has to build overlords, then army. So like he's actually, like Dark is playing beyond greedy because he's not worried about anything from REYNOR. REYNOR's played very passive, and Dark is getting away with a very greedy build. Now, to be fair, REYNOR's early game's pretty tight. 5 roaches being built. 3 gas or 2? It's 2 gas. It's a Laren +1, but building 5 roaches, REYNOR's going to go for a fake roach move out. Dark's going to run in with a bit of Ling Bane, but the roach is actually perfectly timed to stop this. Only 1 Baneling on the defense. 5 roaches and a few Zerglings should be good, but oh! Queen and Roach going to try to defend. They'll take out 1. Will they get another one? Oh, spready! The Banelings! And they don't clump up, which means no drone losses. Perfect defense. REYNOR down 0-2. Starting to get some value. Really good defense there. He's at, he's only lost 150. Dark's lost 300. Dark is equal in workers, despite him being so greedy in his early game. Both sides are now thinking about that next step. Dark holding the drone key down. It was REYNOR who ran into a big 90 supply block. And the Spire, Insta-Spire for Dark. There we go. Like I said, he's not worried about anything. So disrespectful of this Roach move out, he knew it was a fake to begin with. Didn't build he built 1 extra roach only now after hitting 64 drones. He only had 3 roaches. Did not care. 0 respect for REYNOR right now. And this is what happens when someone's up 2-0 and they're already a bit of a gambler. They're a bit of a risk taker like Dark is. He just is willing to do any... There is no... REYNOR cannot have an expectation that Dark's going to play honest. Like, when you've got your opponent scared of you, there are certain things they won't bother doing. They won't risk doing. But up 2-0, Dark's like, I know I can take a billion chances here, man. Even if I just throw this game doing something silly greedy, it doesn't matter. Got 2 more chances. Double Drop-A-Lord. Oh, that's unfortunate, guys. REYNOR's going to go double Drop-A-Lord into Spire. And they're going to arrive just as the mutas are popping out, which is terrible. So that's good for Dark as well. Got the Evo in the back, does REYNOR. He's ahead on the +1. Starts +2. 4th hatchery's on the way. I mean, he's in a fine position as long as he starts building more queens, which he does. He starts queens. Did he see it? He sees it. He sees the Spire. He starts more queens. Okay, he started queens on time. He's good. He should pull the drops back, though. He should pull back his overlords, pull back the drops. If he can keep all these units alive, give the mutas no value, I think REYNOR's in a perfectly fine position. 4th base already on the way here for Dark. He's going to try and mine out these minerals so he can get the purple gas. REYNOR, of course, going to be a bit harder for him to get his 4th up. There are 3 spores building for him. He's just spreading them. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. Nothing in the main. It is wide open, but with queens and hydras, he should be fine. Did he just drop a Baneling into a bunch of Dark Zerglings that were following him? Guys, I think he did. He's going to try and hide this Overlord in the very top left corner. And the Mutalisk. Dark's mutas have speed holes in them, guys. For those who don't know how aerodynamics work, basically, if you guys are designing planes at Boeing, take note. If you put a lot of holes in the wings, Abath has figured out that makes them fly better. This is one of the coolest skins they have. Not sure if it makes sense, personally. I feel like those would ignite just from flying over that, by the way. And there's a Spore Crawler there. This gives Dark map control. What's he going to do with it, though? Looks like just a big roach attack. 71 drones. It's all about the positioning right now. Uh-oh. REYNOR is not in position. He doesn't know where this attack's coming from. That 4th hatch is probably an easy snipe. REYNOR reacts quickly, though. Roach is moving down. He's outnumbered a little. He's got to be careful. He's got 3 Ravages of his own. If he just peppers his biles across the line, that will force disengagements. I love when players space their biles out, so they just throw 1 at a time. It's really nice. But that 4th hatchery is going to get clicked on. Dark forces the engagement. REYNOR has the better army. REYNOR is going to kill a lot of units. He does lose his 4th base. But I think Dark needs to get out of here. He's overcommitting right now. REYNOR with a very good fight. Does dodge the biles and hunts down a bunch of these roaches. Units lost tab does favor REYNOR massively. He also, by the way, went for a roach drop at the same time. Killed 4 drones. Wasted some mining time. The mutas were on the wrong side of the map. There are only 2 Mutalisks. They will come back and clean this up. But that was really good handling. You might think, well, you lost your 4th. It's terrible. It's not. If you trade 1,700 resources better than your opponent, you do not care about losing your 4th. And in fact, REYNOR is immediately going to counterswing, realizing that his opponent is reeling. Dark was re-droning. Dark's making ravages. They're not ready. The Mutalisks are wasting supply. The queens aren't pulled to the front. Biles landing on REYNOR's army, but they're not actually killing anything. They're just wounding the backline, and that does not matter. REYNOR, with the decisiveness of an Italian stallion that so far has not been allowed to run free. Finally, in game 3, he's getting things going his way, and thank the Lord we are not going to see a one-sided ZvZ game. I haven't seen a lot of ZvZ for a while. The last time I cast REYNOR vs. Dark, it was a crazy barn burner, and I was like, please don't let this be a one-sided 3-0, so I'm happy that REYNOR got the win there. We're going to go to game 4. All right, guys, not able to finish it off 3-0, but still looking very good. Dark in the top right. He's going up against REYNOR in the bottom. Now, REYNOR, you'll see, goes for the extractor trick, guys. It looks like he's going to go for a 15-15. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, REYNOR has a build order. He's going to do a roach wall off. Oh my, he is, isn't he? He's going to do a 15-15, and then he's going to wall off with a roach and 2 Evo chambers, I believe. He's going to mine out this side and take a 3rd base there. Gasless, I believe. Or if not gasless, just with a, 17, 18 gas, like a kind of like, it's a kind of later gas because of the way this opening works. He could also hit a 2-base timing off of it. Dark, going for a more standard hatch gas pool. 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. Old school 13 overlord build for him, of course. That pool goes down on 15 supply. More drones coming in. He'll put 2 more on minerals. And the question is, this next one that he's about to start, does it rally onto the gas or not? The answer is no. But I don't know if REYNOR is actually the biggest egg rallier. He's got guys popping out right now. And it looks like he's not even going to take the gas now. It's full gasless. I wouldn't be surprised if he sends drones down to start opening these minerals very soon. There we go. Okay, so the gas does go down now. Minute and a half. About 20 seconds later, maybe 24 seconds later than Dark's. With this build order, you normally don't play Ling Speed, but you could. It's a bit of a surprise, though. Now, Dark's going to come in, guys, and he's going to see, oh, look, the hatchery's already, or it's finished. Mine's still 10 seconds away. With this build, you get very fast 2 queens. You get really fast saturation on your expansion, but where Dark is going to be able to take a quick 3rd base and make Zergling speed, you can't do all that as Reynor. So Reynor is really focusing on getting 2 mineral lines up, getting a temporary income boost, but he's giving up options at the same time. We'll see what he can do here with the 15-15. The players swapped colors this game. That's annoying, isn't it? Sorry, guys. I tell the players to stick to their colors, but they do have the attention span of a mosquito. It's all good. Well, at least swap the frame for this one. Keep in mind, it's Dark up top in the blue this game, Reynor in the red. Apologies for that, guys. Got a lot of different things to focus on here running this show. And herding cats is not my forte. Which is basically the same thing as trying to get pro gamers to do stuff. No 3rd base just yet for Reynor. So it does look like he might just go for like a 2-base push. This is interesting. 2 queens out front denying scouting. Dark goes for that 3rd base. Ling speed. I imagine he skips the Baneling Nest. Because he knows that Ling speed is so rare with this opening. Skipping the Baneling Nest and just going straight Roach is usually pretty safe. See how much Dark's willing to gamble. Looking at how he's played this series, I imagine a lot. Another inject up in the main. Lair goes down nice and early. It's going to be a Roach Warren next. Reynor playing a very tight build. He's only on 1 gas. I expect we see these 2 gases go down in the next few seconds. I think this is a macro build, though. This doesn't feel like it's a timing attack from Reynor. It's just I'm going to go straight to the Roach stage of the game. The Overlord was poking in. He didn't see the gas on the natural, which might make him think, is this a Zergling flood? 2nd gas only now goes up in the main. Yeah, Reynor's kind of late on those gases. He does see the lair. Both Lings do go down. They see a 2nd gas coming. He sees a lot of drones. Reynor taking open the gold minerals on that right side. Going to try and get out there. 5 more drones for Dark. Reynor, as you can see, was much earlier to saturate his natural. Dark now is going to take triple gas. He's got his own +1 range, not far behind Reynor's. Reynor going 3rd gas as well. Oh, what have you got planned? Yeah, it's just a macro build. Reynor's just going to take a 3rd and play Roach. Reynor just is avoiding the kind of dynamic, explosive Zergling stage of the game. Now, keep in mind, guys, these rocks will break down. Likewise, Dark could open these minerals up. These guys decay. These are creep rocks, debris. If you spread creep to them, they actually do not die. So you could like have an Overlord here, drop creep out of an Overlord to stop them decaying. Force your opponent to tear them down. +1 range. Roach speed on the way for Reynor much earlier. He's down 4 workers. The earlier 3rd base mining you can see now manifest with a 300 to 400 mineral per minute advantage. So Dark's got a nice little income lead as Reynor's Overseer pokes around, sees the lair, wants confirmation. Are you going Mutalisks? Or are you just continuing to try to play a Roach game? You see the Roach Warren wall off. Should tell him it's probably not super fast Mutalisks. He sees Roaches popping as well. Great scouting for Reynor. Dark on the other side is going to come in as well. He's also got to do the same thing. Hey, is it a Roach game? Or are you transitioning? Looks like he's already seen a random Roach waddle out the front. But he's dancing around. He doesn't know if there's drones for this 3rd being built. We know there's 13 Roaches. So it's going to be a light Roach timing for Reynor with Roach speed +1. 13 Roaches coming across. And he's going to try and drone his 3rd. The problem for him is going to be the counterattack. He can't break Dark. There's no chance of that. He's just got to be careful to not go past maybe at most 60 drones. 55 might be safer. He's got double upgrades on the way. 2-1. Oh, this build sets... Oh! This build sets up Reynor for such a crisp 2-1 timing. Oh, yeah! Especially if Dark doesn't start his +2 because he's been massing Roaches right now. Now Dark starts droning to try and catch up that worker count. He does see, with the pervert mode enabled, the 3rd base getting nicely saturated. Queen does come over. Good defense there for Reynor, blocking the scouting. Reynor has gone back into Roach Ravager. Does try to build 4 Zerglings, which is very curious. Not sure if that was a misclick or not. People normally don't build Lings at this stage of the game. Is there enough Roach Ravager to defend? There should be. Reynor's actually ahead in army supply. Just doesn't have all the units on the map right now. Roach Warren getting targeted. Biles should easily deflect this. And Dark, well, he forces him out front to defend the Roach Warren. Reynor is like, dude, I have a good army. There's no way you can push this ramp. I like that. Dark just threatening, looking for any freebies. Doesn't quite get it. He's going to go Tunneling Claws, Burrow. Dark playing a sneakier style while up 5 workers. Reynor seems very, very committed on 4 gas. He's not going to have much money for Ravagers, but you could definitely shove this right side, break these rocks, and appear as a big surprise, of course. Oh, Contaminate as well. Yeah, he planned this, guys. He planned this. He's basically like, look, when this thing's like 20 seconds from finish, so 30 seconds from now, he pushes at 7:25. He moves out. At 7 minutes and 25 seconds, Reynor's going to move out, and he is 100% committing to this attack. He is not second-guessing. He is not hedging his bets. He is completely committed. It is 7:07. He sees that upgrade's getting close. He's got to wait a little bit longer. There is a Roach over here. Can he deflect the Zergling? Yes, he can. Overseer doesn't see that much, but Dark's massing Roaches as well. I don't know if this is a big enough army advantage. It's the upgrade advantage, though. He's got to go. It's 7:25, guys. Like I said, 7:25 is the move-out timing. He moves out now. Carapace is finished. +2 range is almost there. He's going to one-shot these rocks and charge on in. Dark's vision was not that good. He doesn't see it till now. And Reynor, he is going to hit this timing exactly when his +2 finishes. Can Dark defend? Dark has defender's advantage. He has a closer rally point. He has a few more Ravagers, but he is outnumbered, and the upgrades are in Reynor's favor. Reynor shoving through, only eats one of the corrosive biles into the center of his mass. His 2-1 upgrades aren't quite done. Now they are. +2 range kicks in the middle of the fight. I think that's actually really good for him because there is no Carapace for Dark, which means he has a double upgrade advantage. Is it enough, though? The defender's advantage is good for Dark. He's got reinforcements coming in. A few of Reynor's Roaches are stuck in the back. Dark trying to do Burrow Micro to heal his Roaches in the middle of the fight. Is that too fancy? I don't know. Reynor pushes in. 100% commitment here. Oh, dodges the bile at the very last second. The numbers are close, but it does feel like Reynor may have punched through. I think Reynor needs to stay clumped, though. I don't think Reynor can spread. Reynor spreading his units out right now may not be the right call. I think he should try to collapse on one side here. Dark rallying out here, but it looks like Reynor has the numbers. 35 supply advantage is probably insurmountable. Dark's +2 coming in like a man who delivers ammo after the front line's being completely broken through, and you're like, where were you when we needed you? +2. Not in that fight. Reynor, his whole build was set up for that 2-1 timing. That was a perfect execution. I was like, where's the timing? Where does this build lead? Are we just playing a macro game? No. Reynor set that up from the start. Really good planning for him. All right. We got ourselves a game 5. Dark in the bottom right side. Reynor in the top left. And Reynor playing a very good timing attack in that last game. I like that build because it had a clear plan from the start. Didn't have to play too reactive. He knew exactly where he was headed. And he's been one of the most consistent players at utilizing Contaminate from the Overseer. And I did see Uncle Roddy appear in the chat. I know he's watching. I think we have to credit. You guys remember when Reynor went and lived with Roddy for a few months? Like a couple years ago? 3, 4 years ago? That was when he started contaminating people's robos right before disruptors would come out that would have otherwise stopped his Queen Walk Ravager attacks. And I remember, I think it was Roddy's influence saying, hey buddy, this Overseer spell no one uses is really good. And there was a few times people were building either Tempest, Carriers, or Disruptors, and they got contaminated. I remember back on, what was that? Oh, it was like called like, had some sort of like pirate name map, Blackburn or something like that. Was it Blackburn? I think it was Blackburn. He killed like Trap a few times, some really like Zest a couple times as well. He became the king of the Overseer. Ever since then, we've seen Reynor do contaminates on people's like lurker dens even to stop like range kicking in. Evo chambers. It feels like Reynor has just made the Overseer contaminate a part of his game. Of course, we thought that was the end of people figuring out how contaminate works, and then Rogue came along recently and said, how about unlimited free scouting units just to be annoying? And has decided making 45 Overseers in late game, unironically, is a good move. Rogue confirming once again that he is the biggest troll in StarCraft. Purple mushrooms growing on top of this cliff. What a lush environment. It's going to be pretty straight up openings for both sides. Very much mirrored. Only thing I'd be looking for here is that pull off gas, but considering what we saw earlier in the series, I imagine that Dark is just never going to pull off gas. Unless he has a very specific plan. Whereas Reynor, you can see pulls off gas, 2 workers off, starts Ling speed, and Dark doesn't pull off gas at all. So Reynor's going to optimize his minerals a little bit more. I like doing that into a bit of Ling aggression. I really think here game 5, if Reynor can stop at 25 drones and just get the momentum going with the first 2 injects flooding out Zerglings, it'll be amazing. Is he going to replace the drones? He's not replacing the drones on gas yet. Maybe waiting a little long. 3rd hatchery, though, does go down. Same time for both players. But REYNOR, of course, has 2 drones ahead. Started about 8 seconds ahead of Darks. Like, what do you think about saving 125 energy with Rogue strategy and contaminating the Terran production? People keep mentioning that on Rogue videos. If you could do it, it's amazing, but good luck ever getting to a Terran's production in a late game with Overseers, because he spams so many Niduses, so it's going to be a one-way trip. You could definitely do it. If you can get a big fight, freeze up all the Terran production, you might be able to overwhelm, but we'll talk about that more another day when we're not commentating a ZvZ Game 5 to see who gets that fast track to the semi-finals. Getting first place in the groups is a massive advantage. Yes, you'll play another first place player, but you'll do it with a second chance available. So it is a fantastic leg up if you win this match. Loser of this will get to play against Bunny, of course, in the final deciding best of 5. Evo Chamber goes down in the wall off. Zergling production. Ladies and gentlemen, when it gets to game 5, you don't want to gamble on anything silly. But if your name's Dark, you just want to do the most straight up pressure ever. And look at that. Baneling's on the right, Baneling's on the left. Mass Zerglings coming. And REYNOR, I would love to see a Roach Warren and a Queen plugging that wall off, because a Queen alone there, I do not think can hold it. But this third base is reasonably close. He's got a creep tumor. If he could spread that one time, it'll help him move his Queens back and forth a lot. He's got 2 Queens on the front, 3rd Queen in the wall off. She's got a Zergling next to her, but oh! The Baneling's blowing up a little bit early there for REYNOR. He's got to keep his Baneling spread. He needs to make more. He's got to make a few more just to be safe, but he's being greedy right now, and he does get away with it. Units lost tab in favor of Dark, who's starting his own Evo. His Roach Warren is finished, but REYNOR still gets the +1 range fast. A solid defense so far. I wonder how well defended Dark would be if a few Lings had snuck around for a counterattack. It really feels like Dark has been getting a lot of attacking players' privilege in this series, right? And often when you look at games like this, you realize if some Lings had snuck around the top, I think they could have ran in and killed 6 drones or something like that, you know, even if it was just 8 Zerglings. But it is what it is. Bane trying to still control at the front, keeping REYNOR on his toes. Both sides there, similarly timed. Dark's +1 range has started now as well. And the Queen defense, I mean, this has been really disciplined defense for REYNOR. I'm very impressed. Oh, Banelings! Roach is running forward, more Banelings morphing on the right side. Dude, the aggression for Dark. He's just maintaining focus on the front. This ruins most players. Does force a spine out of REYNOR, but REYNOR actually staying pretty focused on his D. Loses a few Zerglings, that's fine. As long as they don't get in the drone line, he's fine with that. Really good micro reactively. Spire goes down. Dark is still building Roaches with +1, but it looks like he wants to open up with a handful of Mutalisks. This didn't go well for him on ley lines. That's where the series got turned around. I'm not sure how much I believe in the Mutalisks in this situation. I think if you can get to them a bit faster, a bit greedier, you can play full Mutaling Bane. But in this scenario, it's too late to go full Mutas. You can go for a handful of Mutas, get a bit of map control. I think what I'd like to see from Dark is don't commit so hard to the aggression and be ready for that Roach Hydra counterattack, because you know it could come off REYNOR. He's gone for the Overlord speed. It's almost finished. Overseer's poking in. Spire, I believe, is in the natural. Where is it? No, it's behind the 3rd. It's the Overseer in the main, not really in the most dangerous position. 4th base so early for REYNOR, my lord. I mean, obviously Darks is down really fast, so he knows he can do it, but really feels like an economic arms race. And speed Overseer, pretty much impossible to stop that bird boy seeing what's going on. And he sees the Spire just before it finishes. Great timing. Another Baneling tries to run in. Spinecrawler second. Evo semi-walling that. Cancels it. Makes a Hydra Den. We are going to see some spores going down. 1 spore in the 3rd. Nothing in the other bases just yet. Creep spreading to these bases would be huge. And the Overseer, of course, going to see everything that goes on. 7 Mutalisks into a second Evo chamber. I'd love to see Dark go Hive. I wonder who's favored in a Hive game between these two. Dark's the sort of player who doesn't show you a Hive Tech game in 6 months, so you assume he's garbage at it. And then he just plays like the sickest Lurker Viper stuff you've ever seen. And you're like, oh, he could do this the whole time? And you're like, yeah, he just didn't want to. Just didn't feel like it. And you're like, okay, Dark is going to Dark. He's going to do Dark things. Obviously, I don't know if that's the case. REYNOR, pretty darn good in the Hive Tech game as well. Both players get very limited ZvZ practice these days. It's really just custom games with your teammates. There's not a lot of big Zergs running into each other in the top tournaments. Or on the ladder. Roaches trying to hang out. 30 Roaches against 38 and 8 Hydras. REYNOR holding firm on 70 workers, and he's got a quicker infestation pit, which is going to be excellent. I don't see an opening here for Dark, and I think now you find yourself in a situation where you've got 14 supply and flying garbage. You gotta find out. I mean, he can kill drones and get value with it. He just needs to make sure he doesn't die while he's doing this, right? It's a lot of army supply tied up in a unit that doesn't affect the frontal engagement at all. Queens pull into the main. He's denying some gases. It's not bad. They do regenerate very quickly as well. Meters on the front. There is a Spore Crawler hidden under those Overlords. Dark grabs 2 drones, gets a 3rd. Well done. Getting little bits of value. You can see he's at 2-to-1 in trading. Very nice. Hive already started here for REYNOR, but REYNOR's gas getting denied is actually getting annoying. He needs a Spore Crawler over here now. He should build a 2nd Spore, and then when it's done, move this one over. He's going to lose his gases. Where are the Queens, guys? There's only 3 Queens. They're all down at the front. Let's just split some Hydras. That's great value. They've got really good value. They've almost paid for themselves. I think denying the gases, you could argue they have paid for themselves, because this is going Hive Tech. And it is going to be a Hydra Lurker Viper war. Now, keep in mind, guys, Lurkers wreck Roaches. They do good versus Hydras, but they're very easy targets for Vipers. And there's an argument that actually having more Vipers and more Hydras is more important than more Lurkers, because you can just abduct and blinding cloud the enemy Lurkers while also abducting their Vipers, which are the easiest target to kill with your Hydras. So there's kind of like this dance where, well, okay, we're both on Mass Roach. We need to get some Lurkers, right? Because otherwise we might get overrun. We can also get really good positions, but there is, sometimes you'll see a pivot where one player is very heavy on the Hydra Viper, more mobile, darting in, picking off units, killing them, whereas the other player is just going to be like, I got 23 Lurkers, deal with this, boy. Depending on the situation, either one can work. Our Evo Chamber's coming up. Lurker Den's a bit late for REYNOR. REYNOR famously always forgets to build his Lurker Den when he starts his Hive. You should start them at about the same time. It does delay his Lurker upgrades. He's making Lurkers right now. There we go. Lurker range does start. Sorry for clicking away. That was a mistake. The Mutalisks do almost get a Queen. They're still being a nuisance here. Dark's getting ready to attack the front. He sees a lot of Roaches out of position. Oh, no, REYNOR! He lets Dark take position. Spinecrawler up north helps out a little bit, but the Ravagers are going to be excellent here. Lurkers are a bit far back. REYNOR has to eat some big biles. Great fight for Dark. He's got less supply, but it doesn't matter. Lings hit the left at the same time. Dude, Dark all over him. Dark takes map control with the Mutas, and now he's taking position with the biles. Dark is going to click the hatchery and run away. He's got to get out. He's got to get out. He has to get out of here now. He cannot stand and fight with those Lurkers, but dude, that is crazy damage. REYNOR just disrespected the Mutas, didn't deal with them, and he let them really throw him off his game. He was kind of like, yeah, these aren't a threat, these aren't a problem, and he just didn't want to commit much money to dealing with them. But as a result, he undercommitted, and he ended up getting thrown out of his game, out of his element, and he is now in a bad position, really low on gas, especially having lost all of this. He's going to lose another hatchery. Dark runs in and says, gotcha hatchery, much like an adult says to a baby, gotcha nose. And REYNOR, just as distraught as a child that thinks you actually did just steal its nose. The Mutalisks do take out, almost get the Queens, but the Queens do pull back. +3 range on the way for REYNOR. Can he recover? Absolutely. If he drags this game out, he can. He's going to try and shove the front. Oh no! The Lurkers are on hold fire! And then he activates at the last second, blasts the Lurkers of REYNOR. And this is unbreakable. REYNOR needs to drone, and he needs to head towards Vipers right now. The one thing going REYNOR's favor is that Dark is playing Meathead Zerg. Like I said, he's not playing Vipers. He's just going Mass Lurker, Roach Hydra, Nidus. He's just like, I want to kill you. I don't want to screw around with spellcasters and that fancy stuff, but he's once again outpositioned REYNOR. He gets to his third base before REYNOR gets there, and that's going to be another hatchery snipe. REYNOR reeling under the pressure. Old man Dark in his last tournament before he retires to go to the military service. He is actually going to the military service. Like, literally, guys, they are on his doorstep knocking. They're like, oi, you gotta come. We gotta go do military service. It's that level. It's not like the last few years where we thought he was about to go. He wants to earn a few thousand more dollars for his child, for his wife before he goes. He wants to win another tournament, and he is looking poised to take that first place spot through Group D. Roach Ravager Hydra, great biles, spread across the Lurkers, forcing an unburrow. The Roach Ravager trying to defend. Dark's just going to click again. Oh, that's nasty. The biles don't land that time. Hatchery does survive. REYNOR's Roaches on the right. useless against this heavy lurker. This is a real problem for REYNOR. He's on 42 roaches, and remember, look, where are the roaches of Dark? They don't exist. He's replaced them with much better units, Hydras and Lurkers. Another big fight over there at the same time. Mutas are in the back. Nidus is about to pop. REYNOR does find a decent engage. Looks like he cleared those 3 Lurkers that were there, which is nice, but the Nidus Worm about to pop out inside his main. 2 Lurkers are there. He's got a Spore Crawler. Overseer is morphing. Lurkers will burrow. There's no Overseer for Dark, so... Oh, he's got one on the side. He's got one on the side. Dark's going to get in with the first Overseer, which is going to allow him to force these to unburrow. Gas mining of REYNOR. It's been bad pretty much all game, but it's about to get worse as he once again loses control of 2 gases out front. His third base has been dead for a while. He goes for a desperate counter thrust. Whoa, sorry, bad observing for me. He goes for a shove. Dude, if he can break this might just bring him back, but he is way down on supply, and Dark has so much more money. After sniping so many hatcheries, the roaches get in on top. Dark has the roaches and hydras popping. He's got lurkers behind the third, lurkers in the main. REYNOR does not have an answer to this. He's got a blob of roaches killing the hydras as they pop, but he's down 60 supply. REYNOR is only down 20 army supply, though. There's an argument that maybe, just maybe, if this squad of roaches can get in, kill all the hydras as they pop, he might be able to work his way back into this game. It's a real long shot, though. Drones go back to this base. 28 workers did go down. REYNOR's lost his main base. His Vipers and Lurkers get busted. Great bust for Dark. And Dark is going to be able to get through. Dark just picks him apart with the Mutalisk, sets up for the Roach dives in the right positions, and REYNOR can't quite hang on. REYNOR almost makes the comeback, but this time around, Dark is going to come out successful, and REYNOR is going to have to go to the next match.